Bandana Gramma here, back in her garden. It's been a little while, but I'm back out here to share with you the progress. You saw me cleaning up this mess because it had been terribly neglected. Very, very neglected. I've been babysitting our 3-year-old grandson since he's been born. He's almost 4. And I haven't been putting in as much effort as usual to the back garden. So the last 3 years it especially got neglected. So I caught it all up this spring, and if you've been watching my videos, you saw me working hard, getting all the overgrown brush out and cutting down saplings and pulling out pokeweed and preparing the beds and putting down mulch and wood chips. And there's still a lot to do, but the garden is growing, and I've actually had a few harvests of things like bok choy and collards and Swiss chard and some strawberries. So that's very rewarding to have some work go in and start to get the results back and enjoying the fruits of my labors. And speaking of fruits, I still have my espaliered fruit trees out here around my seating area. And as usual, they're giving me some problems. I don't always get the fruit I wish. They look like they're going to do really well, and then they don't. So I'm still hoping to get a few apples, and the peaches are looking pretty good. And I have sprayed them with organic spray, so hopefully that will do the trick. I see a couple of you have trickled in here. Let's see if there's anybody posting. Laura! Hello, Laura, sweetheart. You're so cute. Thank you for that, darling. Okay, I'm gonna pick you up and carry you around a little bit and show you what I've done. I put my gloves on because I see there's some weeds that need pulling over at the end of my onion bed, and I just might do that when I bring you over there. So my next video going up will probably be me erecting the greenhouse, and of course it's been up for a while yet. I just haven't posted that video, but I'll give you a peek inside there now and show you what's growing. The tomato plants I started in there, some have come out, the rest are ready to come out. And I also, I think I moved my basil onto my old greenhouse, which doesn't have a cover on it. It's just sitting out here in the yard. And I'm using it to hold some of my other veggie pots. And also to grow some tomatoes up, using it as like stakes to grow up tomatoes. So let's take a look, and I'll show you how things are growing. Hang on while I pick you all up. All right, now these are my fruit trees. I'll show you the trouble I'm having. Behind that fence is another community and some trees and grapevine. Whoops, sorry, I didn't turn the camera around. Just a minute. I take my glove off in order to touch the screen and turn the camera. Turn around, camera. There we go. Okay, behind that fence, you'll see there's a lot of greenery. And up there, actually coming over, almost like kudzu, and covering my fruit trees. And it's in the afternoon, it shades my greenhouse. It's not good. So I'm going to be calling that community over there and asking if they have someone who regularly trims their edges, because it's really hurting my, see all that up there? That's coming over the fence and growing on top of my fruit trees. Not good. So some of my cherries are getting shaded. Right here you can see they're starting to turn red. I have a few cherries here that are starting to turn red. I've eaten some. This is a Montmorency sour cherry. It's good for pies. This is my Bing cherry. Didn't get any Bing this year. So sad. And here's the new greenhouse. And in the new greenhouse, I have tomato plants which are ready to plant. So I'll be putting those out. But that's my new greenhouse. And in back of the greenhouse, I've planted some potatoes. So there's a bucket of potatoes, which I'll be thinning out. And there's potatoes planted in the ground. So hopefully they'll do well for me. I have more to plant as well. I don't know if this is a good time of year to do it or not, but I can try. Okay. Now, these are my Asian pears, and they're starting to get bigger on my Asian pear tree. This is my little greenhouse. I've moved it over here. It's kind of in the shade now because I've got someone coming to help me with the poison ivy on the fence, and that's going to be a fun video when it happens on the 28th, so be watching for that. And you can see I have peaches growing on my peach tree, and they're getting bigger. We've had a lot of rain, so I guess that's good. And I have been spraying this tree with organic spray, but look at the leaves. They're being eaten. I got to spray again. See the holes on the leaves? Not sure what that is, but I've got peaches. Okay. And here I've got tomatoes and peppers growing. And I also have some squash over here. More tomatoes. This bed here is empty. I could still plant things in there. These two beds have brassicas in them. There's radicchio and cabbage and cauliflower and several different kinds of Swiss chard. That's collards. Back there are beets. Behind the Swiss chard are beets. More Swiss chard. Some of this is going to seed. And this area here is open so I can plant more things in there. That's lamb's ear, just volunteering here. This is butternut squash. Now, I have to move my cattle panels over. They used to be at the end of this wood over here. See, the cattle panel used to go to the end of that wood. And I was trying to move it myself because the people coming to take care of the behind. So this weekend, my it's doing very well. And I have zucchini here. I always lose my zucchini and other squashes to the squash borer. This year I'm going to try a controversial cure for that. And I don't think a lot of people are going to, there'll be plenty of people who don't like my idea, but I'm going to try because I lose it every year otherwise. Okay, and here's my beans. I have bush beans here. There are green bush beans and yellow bush beans. See the pretty purple flowers? Yeah, I love those purple flowers. And I have some more room down here. I could plant a few things. And on this side, it's all empty. Next to the fence, I can plant in that channel there. Here's my strawberries. They've already produced once. They may produce again. And back here, Heidi, who works at a gardening concern, gave me some unknown plants that weren't marked, and I think they're watermelon. So I planted 4 or 5 of them back here, and I'm going to let them grow over on this wood mulch part. And that should work well to hold them if they are watermelon. There's another one right here. So that'll be fun. I did grow watermelon here before, and they did very well. I grew the little watermelon, not the tiny ones, but I forget what you call them. Super sweet, or I forget the name of them. Okay, remember I told you I had Gerber daisies and stargazer lilies here? Well, there's the Gerber daisies, and here are the stargazer lilies. This is my apple tree. Not too many apples on it, unfortunately. And this is my circular garden, and these go all the way around. I'll continue that in a second, but while I'm here, I'm going to show you my hydrangeas are blooming. Here are my hydrangeas. They always come back looking so pretty. This was my bleeding heart bush, and it had seed pods on it, and of course the bleeding hearts or flowers are gone now, but that's right next to my, between my hydrangeas. Aren't they pretty? I love my hydrangeas. Yep. Oh, I got three hydrangea bushes, and I got this flower in the middle. More hydrangeas here. Okay. Now to continue around the circular garden, here's more of those around my fruit trees. More of the stargazer lilies. Look at this pink one. Oh, I love the pink one. Isn't it beautiful? And more Gerber daisies. These got in the shade, so they're not blooming as much right here. Haven't seen, but around the corner here there was a few, and they'll probably come back. They seem to keep blooming all summer. Come back. They'll get a few, and then they'll die off, and then more will come. So, got all that. So my back corner is still kind of a jungle. I cleaned it out and raked it out and all, and now it's mostly comfrey. Comfrey's growing back here, and I'll be making salves with comfrey. It's really good for your skin and for itching. And I also have what I believe are raspberries back here. I won't guarantee it, but I'm hoping these are raspberries. I used to have raspberries here. They look a little different, so I won't be convinced fully until I see the raspberries. All right, and that bucket down there is full of twigs I want to make a wattle fence with, but I haven't done that yet. And I did start some lettuce in this market pack, and it's coming up. So, okay, let me turn this around. Right. That's a quickie tour of my veggie garden. Let's see if I can open this up all the way and see who all's here. Alrighty. Let's see. Chaos on Hobby Farm, hello. And a hot mess on a mission, hello Jennifer. So glad you caught me live. It must be pretty early where you are. Let's see. Laura, Susie, you, as always, good morning. Oh, Alicia, hello Alicia, I'm doing very well, thank you. Sophia, hello. And who's that? Alicia, you look wonderful. Oh, you're sweet. Okay, taking my gloves off. I didn't pull those weeds after all. I'll do that after the live stream. So, what plans do I have? Well, I'm getting excited about the Homesteaders of America conference coming up in October in Warren County, Virginia. I am going to have a craft table there again, and I've already got some of my inventory done. I've got some mittens, I've got some ponchos, I've got some hats, I've got some gloves, but I need to make a lot more. And I also want to include some of the medicinal salves and lotion. I have white clover I can make some from. I've got the plantain, which makes a wonderful salve. I have echinacea and lemon balm and lamb's ear. I have a lot of different things that I can make salves and lotions with. So I just need to first study up on the Virginia laws as far as what you can and can't sell on your own there. And also you have to be careful how you market it. Like, you can't claim things about it. You could say certain people believe, or this, um, there have been studies that have said, but I can't, claim that my lotions do certain things, even though I have used them. And if I have an itch, I come out and get plantain and crunch it up and put it on, and the itch is gone. So that's really good. And of course, comfrey, for a long, long time, that's been known to be a healer, even to help speed up healing of bones, because it speeds up the cellular function. And yeah, not internally, externally. So I want to do some things like that, and I want to make some soaps, and start making soap to sell as well. Because I made that once or twice before, once with Tara, and once with my friend Janet Garman from, um, oh shoot, forgive me, Janet. It'll come to me. I'm old. Things fly out of my head just as quickly as they come in. But she has a great blog channel, and Janet Garman. I'm going to say Tall Timbers Farm, but that's not it. I'll think of it and let you know. If somebody knows, let me know. She's also very active in Homesteaders of America, and actually is a speaker there. And she's my friend. She doesn't live too far from me, within a half an hour from me. Okay. Thank you for taking us on a tour. Who is that? Tamsin. Hello, Tamsin. Are there any special tricks to growing Swiss chard? Swiss chard seems easy to me. Now, I did not start that from seed. In fact, most of those plants you see over there, my daughter Heidi works for a gardening concern, and it's very big and very popular here. And many times they're getting rid of plants that are either overstocked or something. Well, they had this one bunch of plants come in on a truck, and when the guy was pulling out, he didn't secure the doors, and the whole big thing with all the trays fell out of the back of the truck, and things got bent and messed up, and they couldn't sell them. And so she brought them, a lot of them, to me, and I just popped them in the ground, and they've been doing great. So I was very fortunate there to be able to get those like that. But Swiss chard, I have started it from seed, and it seemed pretty easy to grow. I've just used compost and wood chips on my garden, and I've been trying to build my soil every year. If you watched my gardening videos this year, it showed me fixing up my beds, and I was shoveling old wood chips that had been on a path that were now 2 years old and broken down, putting them on top of the beds to make new soil, because they won't rob the soil of nitrogen anymore if they're broken down. And I also had a lot of compost that I had done myself, mostly from tree leaves, and I put that on too. And the gardens seem to be happy, but we've also been really fortunate that we've had quite a bit of rain. Like every other day we've had rain, so I haven't had to be out here with the hose. I always say in the spring I get really gung-ho about gardening, and I'm out here and I'm excited and I'm digging and I'm planting and I'm hoeing, and, which is good, because in the spring it needs a lot of work. But when the hot weather and humidity hits, the enthusiasm isn't quite there anymore, especially now that I'm 72. It's like, I only have, excuse me, so much energy, and Jeffrey takes a lot of that. He gets first dibs on my energy. So, yeah. So hopefully I'll be able to keep this going. And we are doing some traveling this summer, so that's always a problem. But the wood chips really should help hold the moisture in the soil. And I want to get the rest of the garden done with the wood chips. Out front, I might take you out there. I've got flowers and herbs out front in that garden. I've weeded it quite a bit, so it's looking better. But I haven't mulched it yet, so that means the weeds are coming back almost as quick as I pull them, especially with the rain we've been having. So let me check, see if there's any more. Oh, somebody's answering. Let's see. Alicia's answering Swiss chard, and she said hers is doing great. You inspire me with your beautiful creativity. Thank you, Tamsin. That's sweet. Okay, nature's medicine. Yeah, that's right. Let's see. It was in a. Oh, she's talking about her Swiss chard she got from Walmart. Your garden looks beautiful. The stargazers are pretty. Susie, are you selling your salves? I haven't made them yet. So I hope to, but I really have to look into that because I can't do anything illegal. I want to make sure I'm doing it all proper. So I got to look into that yet. I don't know what the wow was for. Timber Creek, thank you. Timber Creek Farm, that's the one. Who knew that? Hot mess on a mission. Of course, um, Jennifer knew. So Janet Garman is from Timber Creek Farm. Thank you, my dear friend Jennifer, for helping my sieve brain. I didn't realize you lived so close to her. Yeah, I am. I am pretty close. In fact, I think it's less than half an hour. I think we're within 20 minutes of each other. I've been to her house. I made soap at her house. I was on a live stream she had at her house. It was fun. In fact, she and I have talked about doing a weekly uh, program together where we share our crafts and things because she's really big into fiber arts and she has her own sheep and she does spinning and all that. So that would be fun. Dark greens are so tasty and so good for us. I love greens and soups. They boost the nutrition of a soup. Yes, they do. Now, I'm not sure which one it was, but I picked a bunch of this a few days ago, and one of them was so bitter. I was disappointed. And I think it was what was supposed to be radicchio. It was marked radicchio, but I thought radicchio were little red compact heads, and this is all leafy and green, so it might have been mismarked from the store. The humidity is awful, right? And today here, they say we might break a record for heat, which is why I'm out here early. They say we might get mid 90s today, which for here would break a, I don't know, I forget how, 83-year record or something. And it's been humid. So right now is about as comfortable as I'm going to be out here. So I wanted to come out early and get a few things done. Diatomaceous earth is supposed to kill bugs with an exoskeleton like beetles. I have some of that and I've used it too. What gets me worst is those squash borers. And I do have a solution this year I'm going to try. It's not going to be everybody's cup of tea, but I lose them all every year, no matter what I do. I tried the foil, I tried the diatomaceous earth, I tried the surgery, I've tried everything. It just doesn't work. Does Jeffrey know he's having a baby brother or sister in November? What was his reaction? What is Heidi's due date? Okay, let me think. I don't remember exactly her due date. I know Jeffrey was born on the 8th, and it's after that. He was also born in November. I think it might be the 11th or 12th, somewhere around there, but I can't remember exactly. But it's November, and I don't think he understands that, he's 3. I don't think he quite understands that he's having a baby brother or sister, but we're trying to prepare him. There are certain things that he needs to do, like leave the crib and be in his big boy bed, and we're trying to get that done before it's at the time the baby's born so he doesn't feel like he's being evicted. And I want to work more on his potty training and yeah, there's some other things that he needs to overcome before the baby comes so that he doesn't feel like the baby's getting all the attention and bad things are happening to him once the baby arrives. We don't want him to be jealous at all. He's been the prince. Let's face it. He has been the prince ever since he arrived. Good morning, Grandma. Who was that? I can't see. I gotta get close. Steve. Steve and Angie, God bless you. I'm so glad you're here, and I'm glad I saw you. I know I missed you on a couple of live streams once before. And Steve's had some health issues. If you would all pray for Steve, I would be so thankful. He could use all your prayers. Uh, thank you for stopping in my live stream. I really appreciate that. Okay, Laura, my birthday is in November. I'm getting excited to see if the new baby will be close to my birthday. We're supposed to get rain, and it was 96 yesterday, and it was hot. Yeah. Let's see, you're in Colorado. You get much humidity there? I think you do get some humidity there, don't you? You're in Southern California, or Colorado, I mean, aren't you, Laura? Yeah, the humidity here, we're just below the Mason-Dixon line here, and it gets humid. My daughter-in-law is due in November also. Very cool, Deb. Yeah. Okay. Here in Middle Kentucky, it has been in the 90s with lots of humidity. Next week, weather will be in the upper 90s. Yeah, I think we're supposed to get a break on Saturday and Sunday. It's going to be in the 80s and less humid, so that's going to feel like a cold front coming through. Gorgeous Lily. Jacob did well when Corey was born. That's good, Alicia. Glad to hear that. Thank you for the prayers for Steve Timpson. Yes, Susie, get humid here in southern Colorado. I thought so. Yeah, even though you think mountains, you don't think it'd be too humid, but then you're southern, so I think it still gets humid up around where Tara used to live too. But yeah, right now I could tolerate it. There's a nice breeze, and it isn't upper 90s yet. And humidity, I can feel it coming, but we're going to get a break. I love it when we get a break. I remember we moved here. I came from upstate New York. We've been here 35 years now, I think. And when we moved, we lived in upstate New York. You got humid days once in a while, but it was not the norm. And when we'd go back to visit after living south, I'd go to my mom's house and I'd wake up and she'd have the back door and the front door open so there'd be a cross breeze coming through. And it was like a spa to me because the humidity here was so oppressive. And plus, before we were here, we were in lower southern Virginia, and that was even more humid. So when I would go visit my mom and that cross breeze and no humidity, and she was like bewildered. I was so excited about waking up and coming, oh, Mom, this air feels so great. And to her, it was normal. So it was like, what? And, you know, I said, Mom, it's like a spa. It's so nice and refreshing. She says, it's just the morning air. Then she came to visit us and she realized, she realized why it was a big deal. Okay. Well, I'm thinking I'll take you out to show you my front gardens before I say goodbye. And I'm going to have to walk by the poison ivy, but I will keep my distance because I get that bad. And like I said, on the 28th, I have some people coming, and I think you'll be very interested in what they do to help relieve me of the poison ivy. It won't get rid of the roots, but after they're done getting it all off the fence, I have this stuff that I never would use on my garden, and I never would spray it next to my garden, but you're supposed to be able to paint it on the cut stems, and it would kill it back to the root. So I'm really hoping that works because I've dealt with this stuff long enough, had too many trips to the doctors to get steroids from various family members, including me, because of that poison ivy that's growing everywhere on that fence. It comes back every year. So be watching after the 28th, and I think you'll see a very interesting video that might be fun. All right, we're headed to the front garden so I can show you the flowers and my herbs out there. I'm going to turn you around. Okay, past my garden. And I'm going to sneak by this area that I put the mulch down and the cardboard. I'm still going to cover more of this cardboard with mulch. And that's where I've got the watermelon. See how it's coming over the cardboard? I'm going to let it grow all out in here as it gets bigger. And this is the poison ivy. And Maryland grapevine weed and Virginia creeper. Yep, they're going to take care of most all of that for me. So I got to squeeze by here. This is just a black walnut tree there. My husband's going to mow today, so the yard needs mowing. That tree is, okay, I'm drawing a blank. My brain is freezing again. I'll tell you when I remember. Here's a little garden here outside my daughter's window. These are my dappled willow bushes. They're starting to turn a little brown, but when they first come out, they're so pretty. That's my pink dogwood. That's my lilac. Here's my rose bushes. This is a peony, another rose bush, and lilies mixed in with my dappled willow. Over here I have rosemary and lamb's ear and different flowers. You can see I've been working. I still got tools and bags out here. And my daughter Mandy made up a few pretty pots out here. I've got my wonderful green stalk planter back there I still have to put to use. I love that thing. If you're interested in a green stalk planter, there's a $10 coupon in my Show More section, $10 off. And the kids gave me this Japanese maple for Mother's Day last year. Now these are all vinca that have volunteered. We planted vinca in here last year and these all came back. So I'm going to be digging them up and planting them as border plants. And I might even be giving some away here in the Cape where I live. And this plant, I don't know what it's called. It looks like a type of wandering Jew the way it grows, but it's purple. And I got it in North Carolina. We were eating at Bob's Grill down there in Kitty Hawk, and they had a big bed of this outside, and I asked them, could I please take a cutting? And this must have been 3 years ago. And I took a cutting with their permission, brought it home, and put it on my windowsill for like 2 years, and it stayed alive. And I finally got it planted out here last year, and it came back after winter, so I was really happy. Of course, that's Canada. They'll have big red flowers on them when they bloom. Another pot here. Lantana. I forget the name of that lily type flower there. Those roses have come and gone, but they'll come back. I got some hosta here, which are turning purple flowers. I still have some weeding to do in here. These were tulips and lily of the valley. All this bare spot that was covered in lily of the valley, and I dug it all up myself. That was a chore, but I did it. And there's lamb's ear. With the bees love it. See the big bee on that one? Yeah, they love it, the flowers. So it's good pollinator. Now that green one doesn't look like much right now. That is a hibiscus, and the flowers on that are almost dinner plate size. So within a short time, I'm going to have gorgeous big purple flowers on that green plant right there. Yeah. So that's my front gardens. Still need a lot of work. This is a balloon flower. Behind this bag, that's a balloon flower. And the flowers that come in that do look like little balloons. They're really cute. So that's me working on my front garden. It's not company ready yet, but showing. All right, back to the backyard. See, I got a lot of weeding to do out here. That's a black walnut. The squirrels like to plant them. I got to tear that out. We got to tear the vines off the house. It isn't so easy when you're getting older. That's that awful pokeweed I always want to get rid of. It has huge roots. Yeah. Daughter called it Bermuda grass, but I don't think. You see, the yard isn't exactly company ready. But, You know, you just got to take me as I am. It's never going to be perfect. I just don't have the energy anymore. But I'm working hard on it. Alrighty, let's see who joined us. Let's see what I missed. Poison ivy is like sin, just a little and then it infiltrates. It does, it goes everywhere. I've had it ever since we lived here. It wasn't as much as that when it started, but you're right, it spread like crazy. Thank you about the tiger lily. Yes, thank you. Crepe myrtle. I know it, it just fell out of my brain. Crepe myrtle. Who gave me that answer? Jennifer again. Thank you, Jennifer. One of my very favorite flowers is peony. My mother had peony bushes. I remember there was always a problem because my dad would mow it down. She'd have a fit. So I think my sister Jody tried to move it when they moved from my mom's house. They moved her up to her house. Your flowers are gorgeous. It has been raining here in Nebraska about every 2 days, so my weeds are out of control right now. Yeah, I know. We need the rain, but it brings the weeds too. It may be sweet potato vine. Okay. Let's see. Sophia, thanks, Grandma. I am using the lasagna method now. I live near Miami, so it takes a bit for me to learn how to grow things here. Appreciate your help. Lasagna method is great. It's very much like, you're just mulching, only you're using different things like cardboard and stuff. Can't hear you. Really? I got my microphone on. Uh-oh. Lots of edibles in your side yard there. Yeah, and in my other side I have some too. Sound cutting out. Well, I don't know why. I'm sorry. Is it any better now? Did it stop doing that? Okay, must have been jouncing around. Don't know if we're ever company ready. You just have to take it. Yep, take me as I am. That's all you can do. I'm not going to pretend to be somebody else because I can't keep up with pretending to be somebody else. I'm just me. My crepe myrtle dies back every winter. Well, I wouldn't call it dies back. It definitely, drops its leaves and flowers, and then in the spring it comes back again like any other deciduous tree here. My lilies will be in bloom within the month. They were here when we moved in. They are orange, so beautiful. Nice. Okay. I can hear you fine. Good. It's when you were walking around we couldn't hear you. All right. Don't know what that problem is. I love cut peonies. My only concern is not trying to bring in ants from the flowers inside. Ants seem to love peonies. Oh, okay. I didn't notice that. Your sound is good now. It was cutting out when you're walking around. Okay. Sorry about that. So, I guess that's all for today. I just wanted to give you a little peek around. I still need to bring you in when I do some cooking. And I'll be crafting again before long because I need to get more things ready for Homesteaders of America when I have my craft table there in the fall. And it's supposed to be really big. I got itchy nose. It's supposed to be really big, thousands of people. So it would probably be a good craft fair for me as well. Thank you all for dropping by. And if you're watching this on the replay, watch for the videos popping up here, 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 and here because it'll show you more things I've been up to. God bless you all real good. Come back next time. Bye-bye.